friend is coming soon. I greet you in the love and the light of the infinite Creator.
Time Entanglement and the Supernatural. By Robert Torres. When you look into the abyss also looks into you. Nietzsche. I read this in the context of quantum entanglement, that as the observers we become part of a quantum system, one with the observed. More like-minded scientists are coming to the realization that we are the cause of many of our own phenomena. Have you ever felt like you've been here before, or maybe you know what's about to happen, or maybe even something does happen and it seems like it was meant to be? These things have happened to me many times over, and they were so weird that I was compelled to look for answers. Deja vu, precognition, ESP, synchronicity are just a few of a number of often memorable events that stand out, and we might categorize them as supernatural because there is apparently no logical or natural explanation for them. But what if science had the answer all along? And if it happens all the time to so many of us, then how could we still be calling it supernatural? It would be natural, right? And I'd like to believe it's real and that we're remembering real events out of time, from the future. What? Yes. Through what I'll call neural or neuronal entanglement. So my idea is pretty simple, and yes, after much research, others have thought of almost the same thing too, almost. Although it is science-based, much of the mechanisms involved, like the science itself, are still mysterious. And it has to do with entanglement, but not just of subatomic particles, neurons. And even though it works the same way, because they are neurons, they are directly connected to your consciousness. How you think, your memory, space, time, and much like many have proposed before as theory, like entangled mind, author Dean Radin, who believes in entanglement, can explain, especially he suggests as I do, the connectedness of everything in the universe, and like Bohm, that everything is one with no separation. Also much like John Wheeler's extreme one-electron theory, but I suggest just as many hypothesize that the entanglement is also through time, as well as described by physicists at the University of Queensland time-like entanglement. Only I believe this characteristic includes the ability to not only exchange information from past to future, but also back to the past. As I've written in a previous article called Is Communication from the Future Already Here? The late and brilliant theoretical physicist John Archibald Wheeler believed it is, and he has some very interesting conceptual writing on reverse causation or retrocausality in his updated double-slit experiment, aka delay choice. When I began to think much of this through, originally entanglement hypothetically bypasses the space-time dimension completely, as if it wasn't there. This means instant supraluminal communication, faster than light, at any distance. But according to some of our other physicists, it also breaks the time barrier by being able to communicate into the future. With Wheeler believing the future can affect the past. So if we account for these characteristics together, we have our own entangled neurons communicating with each other faster than the speed of light at any distance through time. And if you think that I'm stretching, then it's like George Orwell said, there are some ideas so absurd that only an intellectual could believe them. Of course many believe we can't be entangled on such a large scale, above subatomic. Even so, for others like me, we only need to observe. And every single one of these so-called New Age theorists are doing the same. Let's not forget that the supernatural can't be explained by science, and everyone agrees on that. But many of us believe in things like synchronicity, precognition, and ESP because it's an observed human reality. You will begin to see when you come to the realization that most of these fringe topics are not accepted. Tesla said. Today's scientists have substituted mathematics for experiments, and they wander off through equation after equation, and eventually build a structure which has no relation to reality. Tesla was hands-on, believing much of theoretical physics lacked observed reality. Tesla also said, "The day science begins to study non-physical phenomena, it will make more progress in one decade than in all the previous centuries of existence." Nikola Tesla. How important then is quantum entanglement? To science it could mean everything, or the hypothesis of supernatural abilities, psi, chi, it could mean everything as well. If we are talking about entangled neurons, then within the field of the often apparent paranormal or supernatural forces, it may actually just be a natural part of reality. Among those who believe, it's just part of our normal consciousness, it is the way it is. Others, however, think it's a leap. Glitches in our individual timelines are also a consistent part of the natural order, happening more with some than with others. Why? And the fact that with synchronicity they come along with purposeful meaning? That's still only the universal mind knows the answer to. If you believe Einstein, he makes it simple. Believing in determinism, or that everything in the universe, including every human act, is predetermined and there is no free choice. Even with his science of time as a dimension, it only becomes more solidly fixed. Spacetime, or Minkowski's block time, gives us fixed points of our individual lifelines. If we could travel time, then we can always come to these fixed points, which are arbitrary but will always be unchanged. Yesterday at 3 p.m. you were exactly here and this occurred, or 15 years ago, it doesn't matter because it has already passed and you can't go back to change it, he believed. Everything that happened already occurred and our memories will always remain the same as part of our timelines, entangled forever.
If you like our channel, please subscribe and click the bell to be notified of our new videos. Feel free to share on your social media. Thanks for watching. See you next time.